Hey everyone, I am Nate and welcome to Hyper. In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the top 10 most unexplainable photos of all time. In at number 10 is the time-traveling hipster. If you could time travel to any point in the past, when would you travel to? According to the theory surrounding this photograph, the 1941 reopening of the South Forks Bridge in Canada was the choice for this apparent time traveler. The image was first made available to the public in 2004 when it was featured in the Ballon Pioneer Museum exhibit, Their Past Lives Here. When the museum digitized and published the photo online, it spurred an internet investigation into the apparent time traveler. Internet users claimed that the man in the photograph appeared to be dressed far too modern for the 1940s, with three aspects of his attire backing up their claim. 1. His logo shirt in contrast to the suits being worn around him. 2. His sunglasses. And 3. His modern looking camera. In at number 9 is the Phoenix Lights. Do you believe in aliens? Well, the people of Arizona, Nevada, and Sonora certainly did after the sighting of the Phoenix Lights across the sky on March 13, 1997. Lights of varying descriptions were seen by thousands of people between 7:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. in a space of about 480 kilometers. There were two distinct events involved in the incident: a triangular formation of lights seen to pass over the state of Nevada, and a series of stationary lights seen in the Phoenix area. The United States Air Force claimed that the second series of lights were flares dropped by an A-10 Warthog aircraft that were performing training exercises at the Barry Goldwater Range in southwest Arizona. In at number 8 is the ghost of Freddie Jackson. Do you believe in ghosts? It's hard to be a skeptic when looking at photos like this one. This intriguing photo, taken in 1919, was first published in 1975 by Sir Victor Goddard. The photo is a group portrait of Goddard's squadron, which had served in World War I at the HMS Datadus training facility. At first glance, you might miss what all the commotion is about, but if you look closely, you'll notice something not quite right in the top row behind the man fourth from the left. A ghostly face seems to appear behind this man, who the squadron identified as being the face of Freddie Jackson. The thing is, though, Freddie Jackson had died 2 days before this photo was taken, and adding more to the mystery, Freddie's funeral had been the very same day this photo was snapped. The common theory among Freddie's squadron was that the ghost didn't realize he had died and had just shown up for their squadron photo as if he was still alive. Freaky, right? In at number 7 is the Solway FIRTH Spaceman. When Jim Templeton took his daughter out to Burge Marsh in England on May 23, 1964 to take some photographs of her, he wasn't quite expecting this. Of the 3 photos Templeton took of his daughter in one similar pose, he was shocked when the middle picture came back from Kodak displaying what looks like an astronaut or a spaceman in the background standing right behind his daughter. Templeton insists that he didn't see a figure on the day, stating that the only other people present in the area were 2 old women sitting in their car on the other side of the marsh. The image was reproduced widely in contemporary newspapers and obviously sparked the interest of ufologists, who were intrigued by the idea of the spaceman being of alien origin. In at number 6 is the Falcon Lake incident. In this photo, we see industrial mechanic Stefan Mikalak with an interesting burn across his chest. Doctors at the local hospital were puzzled by the gridded burn pattern and what could have caused it. Till the day Stefan died in 1999, he stood by his story that on May 20th, 1967, in the woods near Falcon Lake in Canada, he encountered an aircraft of unknown origin. He says that he saw a door open on the craft and heard muffled voices coming from inside. Stefan claims to have burnt his hand while attempting to examine the craft itself. The craft then apparently closed its doors, expelling some sort of hot air through a grid-like vent, which caused his shirt to erupt into flames and led to the baffling burns across his chest that we see in the photo. In at number 5 is the backseat ghost. Taken by Mabel Chinnery in March of 1959 in England, the photo features her husband sitting in the front of their car, as well as an unexpected guest in the back seat. Mabel and her husband were shocked as they were certain that he was alone in the car. Mabel instantly recognized the image of her mother. Shockingly, Mabel had taken the photo of her husband at the cemetery where she had been visiting the grave of, you guessed it, her mother. The photo was apparently examined by a photographic expert who determined that the image of the woman was neither a reflection or a double exposure. So, is this confirmation that ghosts are real, or was it some kind of camera malfunction? In at 4th place is the Black Knight satellite. Photographed in 1998 by NASA, this photo was quickly connected to the legend of the mysterious Black Knight satellite. Legend has it that in orbit around the Earth is a mysterious dark object which dates back about 13,000 years. Its origin and purpose are unknown, although most popular theory is that it is of alien origin. Dubbed the Black Knight, this elusive satellite has allegedly been beaming signals towards the Earth. The origin of the Black Knight legend is as uncertain as the origin of the name itself, while NASA has repeatedly shut down conspiracy theories surrounding the photograph, stating that it is likely space debris, specifically a thermal blanket lost during an EVA mission. One conspiracy theory dictates that NASA itself is engaged in the cover-up regarding its existence and origin. In at third place is the Hook Island sea monster. If I saw something like this lurking beneath the surface of the water coming towards me, you bet your bottom dollar I'd be heading in the opposite direction. That wasn't the case for Frenchman Robert Le Sirach and his friend Jean in the summer of 1964. The two men and Sirach's family had purchased a motorboat, and while crossing Stonehaven Bay on December 12th, they noticed an odd-looking object on the bottom of the lagoon. Guessing the object to be roughly 10 meters in length and shaped like a giant tadpole, Sirach and Jean actually jumped in the water to take a closer look in hopes of filming whatever the creature was. As they approached the monster, the giant serpent-like creature apparently opened its mouth and started moving towards them. And like any sane human being, they hightailed it out of there as quickly as they could. In at second place is the Cooper family photo. When the Cooper family sat down to take a family photo in their new house in Texas in the 1950s, they probably weren't expecting this guest to show up in the photo once it had been developed. The origin of the photo itself is heavily speculated to be fiction, but the story goes that sometime in the 1950s, the Cooper family bought an old house and moved in. On their first night there, the father took a family photo, but when the photo was eventually developed, they saw to their horror what looked like a body falling or hanging from the ceiling had materialized behind them. It hadn't been there when the father took the photo, so where did it come from? Was it a ghost of the previous tenants? That seems to be the most popular theory, although many have argued that the photo was merely caused by the reuse of the film, meaning that it was a photo overlay. Still, if the photo was an overlay, what is the reasoning behind the original photo? Before we reveal what number one is, what have you thought of the list so far? Have you heard of any of these stories? Do you believe in aliens or ghosts? Let us know in the comment section down below. In the meantime, it is now time for number one. In at first place for the most unexplainable photo of all time is the Dyatlov Pass incident. In the case of this photo, it's not so much the photo itself, but rather the incident surrounding it that remains a mystery. The photo was taken on February 26, 1959, after rescuers found the tent of 9 ski hikers who had mysteriously gone missing during an expedition in the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. Further investigation from researchers and even the military led to the discovery of the 9 missing hiker bodies who had all passed away, mostly due to hypothermia in the incredibly cold environment. What remains unexplained is why 3 of the hikers had sustained fatal injuries to their chest and skull that could not be possibly inflicted by another person. Adding to the mystery, as seen in the photo, rescuers said that the hikers' tent had been ripped open from the inside and they had run out barefoot into the snow. So, my question is, who or what were they running away from? Also, in February of 2019, CNN announced that the Russian authorities were reopening the investigation. Did you enjoy the video? If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out these other videos over here. I'm Nate, this is HypeHub, and we'll see you all next time.